Hello everyone, I'm here to put together the Brakiri Cruiser. I'm going to use two different glues, Gorilla Glue, Super Glue, and some 5-minute epoxy. Part of that is, like I said in an earlier segment, this thing's nothing but a big three-dimensional puzzle, and that curing time is too fast for part of what I'm going to do. Curing time on this, it says 5 minutes, it's not 5 minutes, it's more like 2. But that's still more than enough time for me to get everything done in. This won't take, hopefully, 2 minutes. It takes 2 minutes. I got a problem. Sorry, I'm distracted. Nellie's here. Okay. Anyhow, let's squirt out some epoxy, shall we? I started buying it in these bigger things because I don't like those little syringe things. Okay, I found these big tubes. The little syringe things, the tip always seems to go wonky on me and I can't end up throwing away half of it. But with these things, I don't end up throwing away any of it. I'm going to mix up my epoxy. If you haven't used this stuff before, it's 2-part epoxy. You mix it up. Once it's mixed, you have about 5 minutes before it hardens, according to the label. It's usually more like 2 or 3 minutes in my experience. There we go. Got my epoxy mix. Already glued one wing on. You guys saw that yesterday. Let's get this tape out of the way, if it's going to cooperate. Now this is tricky because the pins inside here are not glued down on each half. They are just sitting in there. So when I pull this apart, those pins are going to come somewhat out of place. Oh, they didn't. That's a good thing. Alright, I'm going to take some of this epoxy resin and we're going to put it right here. I got to make sure I get this part in correctly. If I get it in wrong, that's not going to be good. Alright, that part's in there. I'm going to go ahead and glue the two halves together with super glue. So what do I do next? Questions. What do I do? I think I'm going to go ahead and put the epoxy on this part. Right here. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to put the epoxy on here. Because the epoxy is going to hold stronger than that super glue will. I know it takes longer to cure, but it holds stronger. So I'm going to go ahead and use the epoxy here too. I'm getting too much on here. When I put the parts together, it's going to squeeze out if I'm not careful. That's not necessarily what I want. I just want a nice thin coating of this. There we go. Alright, here comes the fun part, putting her together. Getting all these pins to line up properly without making a glued mess all over the world like I'm doing. Oh, and that pin has come apart there. Nellie, do you mind getting me a couple of clamps? Do you know where the clamps are? Yeah, they're in the bottom segment there. Yellow one will work. There's a really big one in there somewhere. I'd like to have the big one. There we go. No. It's like the yellow one, only freaking huge. Yeah, this is not going together very well, and this is why I'm using the epoxy. You guys can see this. These pins don't like lining up. Once they line up, they're in there really good and tight. The top pin's was lining up until a second ago. No big one? Ah, it's under my feet. No wonder. Thank you. That's why it's not lining up. The pin came apart. This is fun. I'm starting to get epoxy on my fingers. Oh yeah, I am. It's getting on everything. I had it aligned right. You know what happened? This pin didn't align right. And that was bad news when that pin didn't align right. I got epoxy on everything. Now you're seeing why I'm using the epoxy instead of super glue. Because we got the top aligned properly. This is not aligned proper. Oh, and it's just twisting on me as I try to move it. Just twist it all apart as I tried to move it. And that epoxy is starting to cure up, and that's not good news. Come on. It's this one pin right here. It's always this one pin that gives me the trouble. Got it. Yeah, well. We got that on there at least, right? They're clamped together. I can hear the epoxy is not very happy on that one pin. And I can understand that. Here comes the rest of this. It is starting to thicken up. Can you see it thickening? I see Toma wants to come visit Nelly. But I can use super glue for the rest of this if I need to. That's the good part. I'd just rather use this stuff because again it's going to hold better. If that makes any sense. Quit stringing. I just made a mess of that. I'm making a mess of everything here. I'm getting epoxy on everything. Bad, bad, bad. I'm just going to use the super glue on this wing. This is easy to line up and put in place. Okay. I can get as much of this epoxy off my fingers as I can, and I can align things. I got it from there. Alright folks, we got her glued up. I'm going to have some cleanup to do because of the way that epoxy went together. And my fingers are just gluing to it right now. Bar clamp. Do you know what the bar clamp is? It's the one with the big sliding bar on it. This? Oh, the super glue broke. It's set up already. Yeah, that. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, just one. It's squeezed out pretty good. She's pretty set up. She's not moving. I'm going to have a lot of seam filling to do on this. But we got her glued up. I bet that was fun to watch. Me panicking, going, it's not going together right! But I got her together. There's still some really bad sticky spots where the epoxy's still curing. But I'm happy that's together. So now I gotta set this up and let her dry. Just not bother her for quite a while. Are the wings aligned right? That's my rod. My rod is not aligned right. You see that? Yeah, I'm going to have to re-drill that, patch that hole and re-drill that. So, I was right. The rod is not aligned correctly. But let's get my big-ass clamp here. So, we can just let her sit like that and cure. And look, I got a little foil on a stick thing. Alright folks, we'll be back later. I'll be back later discussing how I need to fix up my cured epoxy. Alright people, this is what we call a kitty stack. We have kitten and then big cat stacked on a cat tree. What I'm just missing is another cat down there. Now my old mean nasty cat won't go near that. So, she won't go near this guy. She's just like, oh, I can't deal with that cute face, so I'm going to beat the crap out of it. Yep, that's what she does. Whereas this one and this one, Mr. Tomo, are pretty good friends. Although all you see is the backside of Tomo right now. I know what I should do. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, I'm back. I got out the South American catnip. Tomo's going to town on it like he always does. Kitten, however, I don't even think he knows it's there. I'm trying to corrupt him at a very young age. And you know, it's not working. He's just looking at it like, what? Yep. I don't think he cares about catnip. I think he's one of those rare cats, the catnip means nothing to him. Maybe. Nope. Tomo, however, that was good. I think Tomo's satisfied right now. Kitten, don't care. Maybe it's something they acquire as they get older. I don't know. I can't tell you. Alright folks, there seems to be a delayed reaction on the catnip with Kitten here. He was just chewing on the carpet pretty good. Yeah, see, there he goes again. I think I need to keep catnip away from this little one, because that's not a good reaction if you ask me.